You're tuned to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is a program called Food for Life, and it's our pleasure, as always, to have in the studio for the first time this year, Heather Barrow. How you going, Heather?
I'm good, Ken. How are you?
You're looking good. Was your Christmas a good one?
It was excellent. Yes. Around family and friends, that's great.
You cannot beat it. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat it. Anyway, we've had a great Christmas, and what we're going to talk about today is stress. And I'm sure that, Christmas for many people brings its own form of stress. You're catching up with your family that you wish you hadn't invited and all that sort of stuff. But stress can affect people in many, many different ways, and that's what we're here to talk about today. But before we get there, just remind our listeners, Food for Life, we want to contact you for some advice. How do we do that?
Yeah, so I'm at G's Pharmacy in Taradale. Mm-hmm. You can go to my website, foodforlife.co.nz, or email me at heather@foodforlife.co.nz.
Yeah. Okay, tell us about stress and diet.
Yeah, so stress. I mean, if I hands up, who's not stressed?
Yeah,
I don't think there would be any hand that wasn't up. We all experience it. Most people think of it as emotional stress.
Yes.
Work, finances, trouble with a family member, whatever it is. But we have to remember there's 4 different types of stressors. There's physical, so what are we eating? What are we putting into our body? What did you have over Christmas?
Sure.
Are you over
white bread and ham.
White bread. Yeah. Brandy snaps.
Yeah.
Are you over-exercising? Maybe you're pushing your body too much. That can be a physical stressor. The chemical stressors, what we use on our skin, products, and environmental stressors, Do we live in a polluted city? Do we live in an orchard? Are we around sprays?
Yeah.
All those things elicit a stress response in the body, and they can have a huge impact.
Sure. How can you over-exercise? You think that your body would just say, well, I'm either going to pull a hamstring or I'm going to stop you running. But so is it easy to over-exercise?
I don't find it very often, at least with my clients, unless they're really, they're training. I've had a boxer before, like almost a professional level boxer, and he was training 2 to 4 hours a day,
wow.
really pushing himself in boot camps, and I thought, he's over-exercising for sure.
What happens to your body in that case?
Oh, well, you can use up all your nutrient stores. You can not replenish if they don't know how to eat properly, their protein. I'm not a sports nutritionist, but you can just wear the body down. Yeah. And in his case, he had a lot of gut issues because he wasn't eating properly for what he was demanding of his body. Right.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, good. So the effects of stress can be mental, emotional, physical, and behavioral. You might find that you can't think as well, you can't concentrate, you're falling asleep at work, maybe you're losing interest in daily activities, you're saying no to social activities, you just want to be a hermit.
Yep.
You're more moody, irritable, anything could just set you off.
Sure.
And that can lead to depression too, you could find out maybe you're eating more food or you're eating less.
You often hear that people, when they are under stress, that they will generally eat more and eat more of the wrong things as opposed to eating less. Is that what you found in your business, that people do reach for the wrong types of food? Like, they think, okay, I'm going to have I'm going to have a square of chocolate, then they end up having a bar of chocolate, or they're having one drink and they have 5 drinks. Is an excess of food more the norm for stress-related problems?
I would think so, yeah. Because I think when you're stressed, your life feels a bit out of control.
Yeah.
And food is the one thing that people can control. So, they can actually physically reach for that food. They control how much is going to the body, and so it's that feeling, I think, of.
And food is one of those joyful things in our lives, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I know that, for instance, that when we did the December program, that you mentioned that you like donuts, and who doesn't? But you like them because they're nice and they give you pleasure. So I guess if you're under stress, then you're reaching out for the things that do give you pleasure. So why not have a donut or 5? Yeah,
and I think for me too, as a little kid, that would be my treat.
Yes.
Like my dad would buy a little pack of chocolate-covered mini donuts.
Yes.
Which he called, my dad called them chocolate death balls.
Yeah.
My dad, he's a very healthy eater, and so that would be the one real treat.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I have this thing with donuts. I don't eat them a lot, but when I do, it's really a treat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, physical effects of stress as well. Inflammation in the body.
Mm-hmm.
You can start getting aches or pains. You can notice your bowels changing. Maybe you're running to the toilet quite a few times a day. Maybe you're not going to the toilet at all. Gastro symptoms of bloating and gas. And can really change your gut bacteria, stress.
So with stress, I suppose, and most people, when you say the word stress, people do think mental issues. So what might you suggest in the first instance? So if I came to you, I possibly wouldn't come to you in the first instance because I thought if I'm stressed, I have to go and see a doctor and maybe get some Valium or whatever they call it these days, or go see a psychologist. But could stress be induced purely from a nutrition point of view?
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, what we eat, we talked in December about too much sugar.
Yeah.
That's a huge stressor on the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's demanding more of all of your organs, your pancreas, your liver, your kidneys. So absolutely, food is a huge physical stressor.
So how do we know that though?
Well, normally people have some kind of side effect, people will come to see me with a presenting complaint or sometimes no presenting complaint.
Yep.
I just want to know how to eat healthy. I just want to know what to eat. And we do the consultation, and amazingly, all these issues come up that they didn't even realize that they had. So sometimes you're actually just not aware.
Yeah. Are you surprised that people say that to you? I want to know what to eat. I mean, if you said to me, and I'm pretty old, and I've had not a life of debauchery, but and when it comes to eating, because I like fish and chips, and I like chips and pies, and I like pies and potatoes and gravy and that sort of thing, and I seem to get along all right. But if you said to me, write me down a healthy diet, I could probably do it just out of my head right now.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you that people can't?
That
they don't know what healthy eating is?
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
No, they don't know that, a bag of chips isn't that healthy. I have some people like that. They just don't know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just going back to basics and explaining what are healthy fats, what are healthy proteins, what are healthy carbohydrates. I have people that have never heard of the word quinoa before, buckwheat.
Yeah,
they just don't know. So I actually think it would be really good if there were some basic cooking classes in Hawke's Bay, just to show people, some basic skills around cooking, and that it actually doesn't have to be complicated. I had a client just the other day who said, I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I need things simple, but I know to eat healthy, meals need to be very complex. And I said, no. Not at all.
Yes.
In fact, I'm the opposite. I prefer things very simple. I just told her a few ideas, salad bags, roast chicken, buy some bags of nuts and seeds, throw it together. It takes 5 minutes.
It's all about the flavour, though, isn't it? I heard you mention quinoa there, and if you've been introduced to quinoa, then you probably think, won't be having that again. But it's a matter of presenting it and making it taste good, isn't it?
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, quinoa salad. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can make quinoa muffins.
Yeah.
There's even quinoa pasta out there you can use.
Because it's about the taste. That's why people like fish and chips or Kentucky Fried or McDonald's. They've got that taste that you just love. I mean, who wouldn't love a McDonald's hamburger? I love them.
Yeah, but see, I think when you eat a lot like that, your body actually expects that amount of salt and sugar, and your gut bacteria and your brain, it's like sugar's as addictive as heroin. So it's telling your brain, this is what I need, this is what I want. But once you start changing, it's amazing. Your gut bacteria changes. I actually would much prefer a carrot over that cookie.
No one is ever going to say that.
Oh, I've had clients say
Really?
that. They can't believe, that their cravings now are for healthier foods.
Oh my goodness.
They can taste better. They can smell better, and they're actually enjoying healthier foods more.
I suppose, though, it's you've hit the nail on the head, really, that when people come to you, the battle is half won for them because they're coming to you in the first place, right? So your job's half done for you. But, like I say, I'm a sort of a 3 veggies and pie and all that sort of stuff, but I know that I shouldn't be eating them all the time, and I don't. What happens to you when you go over the line and you keep eating that stuff? Does something go wrong in your head? Or is that part of that stress-related thing that we're talking about, that you're just not thinking,
Yeah, I think
I'm just going to stick with what I like?
it can be quite a bad cycle, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I once read something that McDonald's puts something in their food to make it more addictive. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but
Just tastes good.
it's easy, it's convenient, it's full of salt and sugar, and that tickles the taste buds.
Have you ever had a McDonald's hamburger?
A long time ago.
What makes them for me is that little bit of that green veggie that they put in it. What is it?
Pickles?
Pickles.
Oh,
That's what makes it. And
Okay.
that little bit of sauce, because there's not much in them. You know, you get a meat patty, you get a bun. That pickle is what sells it for me. It just
but you can
love
buy
it.
pickles.
Yeah.
And you can make your own homemade
Yes, you
burgers.
can.
And it'd probably be just as good, if not better.
Yeah. But that's what, to me, that's what sells them. I think, wow,
The pickles.
I only ever have a McDonald's hamburger. I wouldn't have a Big Mac or a chicken burger, because those hamburgers,
Yeah.
they are delissimo.
I think it's like when I was younger, it was the naughty food.
Mm.
My parents didn't want me to ever have fast food like that.
Mm-hmm.
But once in a while, they'd say, "Okay, I'll take you." I mean, once in a maybe
Yeah.
twice a year, and it's almost like, oh, I can't have it, so I want it more.
Sure. It's the one you didn't break out. Try and escape from that regime. And
Oh,
just
well, once I
eat it
became
on
a
the side.
teenager, I was hitting
Yeah.
at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Of course. I had plenty of Big Macs when I was younger.
But then you came back into line. So what happened to you? Just because you knew you're obviously an intelligent person. But yeah, it's just common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, what it was in high school, I ran track in field on varsity, and I wanted to be fit and healthy, and I read fitness magazines and bought fitness nutrition books from a young age, and you just don't want that stuff. You know, it doesn't fuel the body. You don't feel good afterwards. You know, you're overly thirsty. You're tired.
I might suggest so that you hung out with the like-minded people, and that they were of the same ilk, that they
Some
thought
of them.
the same as you. Whereas if you did your track and field, and then on Friday night you got out on the terps with all your mates, and they were eating pies, and off they go to the pie cart after a big night out, and had that's what you might have ended up
Well,
doing.
instead of pies, it was Taco Bell
Yes, Taco
in
Bell.
America. But
So is that what you did though? I mean, did you hang
Yeah.
out with like-minded people who were fastidious about what they ate? So
Some of
that's
them.
a big help, isn't it?
it does help. Yeah, some of
Yeah.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
But others, no.
No.
So
they had the big Taco
maybe
Bells.
I was the role model for
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't
That
know.
helps, I suppose, to have a role model like that.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone to keep you on track.
Yeah. The food
Yeah,
police.
so just going back to stress. So,
Yes.
you know, back in the day, I'm sure a lot of people listening have heard this from Dr. Libby. You come across a bear, that's your stressor. Your body releases that adrenaline
Yep.
and cortisol. Today, we have bears every day, almost every hour for some people,
Mm-hmm.
depending on their profession. Emails piling up, work deadlines, projects, due, demands,
Yep.
home life, this and that. Those are all those bears attacking every day.
Sure.
The problem is our bodies aren't designed to be attacked by bears like that every day.
Yeah.
So it's, your little adrenal glands sit on your kidneys. They're responding and they're releasing all this
Mm-hmm.
adrenaline and cortisol. But guess what? They can't do that forever. They get so tired.
Yep.
And then you end up with adrenal fatigue.
Sure. So what's the recommendation to minimise that? Because what you're saying sounds easy, but it's not. It's not easy to change your life. I mean, if you've got
Yeah.
to work, some people got to work 2 jobs to pay their mortgage, to keep the family going, and it's easy. Like we're reading this page here, and it says, "Wow, that's so easy to do. Let's do that." That's not easy.
It is. It's hard. I think you do need to prioritize as well, kind of step back. And I think the holidays are a good time to do that.
Yeah.
You get more time with family and friends, and you think, actually, this is the first time I've stopped all year.
Mm-hmm. It's a funny thing, isn't it? We talked about it at work a few weeks ago that I very rarely get sick, and but if you stop and have a holiday, why is it that you get sick? It seems to be that when you have a holiday, and someone said, "Oh, it's because you're winding down, you're relaxing, your adrenaline is no longer keeping your body going; it's coming back to where it should be." And look out, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
I've never noticed that for me personally. I don't often get sick though at any time, but yeah, maybe it's just the body's finally winding down and it's allowing itself, to break down a bit.
Sure.
But
Keep working. That's the answer, I suppose. Stay at work.
Sorry?
Stay at work. You won't get sick.
No, that's not a good idea.
So, so then how do you go about remedying what you just mentioned?
Yeah, so if you find yourself, if you're listening and you think, oh wow, actually that sounds like me, maybe I am adrenally fatigued. Some of those signs, you can't get up in the morning. You're literally stripping yourself out of bed,
Yeah.
and you just struggle throughout the day. You get enough sleep, but you just don't feel relieved. You're craving salty or sugar foods just to get you through the day.
What is enough sleep? Some people say you got to have 8 hours. I have 5.
That's like how many cups of water.
Yeah.
It varies depending on the person, just like it varies depending on how much you weigh for how much water you need. So some people can get by on 6 hours. Some people need 9 to 10 hours.
So there's no normal.
No, I don't really think there is. I think the best advice for sleep is try and get to bed by 10.
Yeah.
You get another wave of cortisol after that, and you can get a second wind, and try and avoid screen time about 30 minutes at least before bed.
Is that a big deal, screen time, for stress?
Yeah, I think so, because, that artificial light, that, on iPads, all these devices now, it stops the body from producing that melatonin, which helps you sleep, and you need that.
Okay.
You might be a person like me, like I can't go to a hotel if there's a crack and there's a light through that crack in the curtains. I cannot sleep. I literally,
I love it in the
I should
dark.
bring masking tape everywhere I go and just tape the curtains to the wall.
Yes. Because then it gets inside your head, doesn't it? You can't go to sleep. It's like I hate having the radio on at night when I go to bed, but my wife loves listening to the radio. It drives me mad.
Yeah. No, I couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with noise, like if the fan's going or if it's a bit windy outside, that's fine. But light, can't do it.
No. We're all funny things, aren't we?
Yeah. So what can you do? So, stress does slow down your digestive system. So you want to make sure really that you're chewing your food well. I know we've talked about it many times. Chew. That's where you control your digestion. Once food leaves the mouth, it's up to all the acids and enzymes in your body.
Sure.
So that's at least one thing you can do. Stress depletes your stomach acids.
Yeah.
So why not stimulate them, get them going? The infamous apple cider vinegar, which, most of the time people have in their pantries.
Yeah.
Have a teaspoon of that before a meal, 15 minutes before, and that's going to get your stomach acids going.
It's a Kiwi tradition, and possibly it's an American tradition as well, that we have our big meal at tea time, dinner time.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing for us, or should we be having our big meal in the middle of the day so that when we go to bed at night we haven't got so much food in our gut? What is the best idea for that?
I think you just said it, really. That's what they do in Europe often, is they have a big, huge lunch, and then they have what do they call it? Is it fiesta or something? A nap afterwards?
A siesta,
Yeah, siesta.
That's right,
Fiesta.
The fiesta's the big part of it. Talk about.
Siesta. And then they have a light dinner.
Yeah.
Because your digestion does slow down
Sure.
throughout the day. So that's why I always recommend, dinner.
Yeah.
Try and have it before 6.
Okay, what about people who are fastidious about their health and exercise? And I've seen recommendations in notes that I've read over the years. Have 5, 6, 7 small meals a day. Who's got first of all, who's got time to do that? But is that a good way to eat?
I would say no, because for one, you're eating that many times a day, your digestive system's always working.
Yeah.
And you actually need to let it, intermittent fasting is a great example. You give your body a nice long, 14 to 18 hours not having to work, not having to digest your food. And I think that's, back in the day, that's what happened too. We didn't always have access to food like we do now.
Is fasting a fad, though? I mean, people, and I've heard a lot of people talk about fasting, particularly over the last couple of years. It seems to have become a bit of a fad diet. Is that a good thing for people who might be, say, obese? So think, okay, well, I'm a bit fat, so I'm not going to eat for a couple of days because everyone's saying let's go on a fast. Is that a good way to diet or lose weight? Is that good for anyone?
I think for some people, we've done a show on intermittent fasting. For some people, it's fine. Yeah. But obviously, if you're pregnant, if you're very stressed,
yes.
Your blood sugars are all over the place. Extremely obese. No, I don't actually think it is a good thing, because you could be putting your body in a starvation mode, and your body could want to hold on to your next meal and just preserve it and hold it. So to regulate the metabolism, I would be eating 3 meals a day, maybe two healthy snacks.
Yes.
Yep. It's hard to speak in generalizations because everyone's different, but
I thought that was a myth that your body held on to energy. So that's true.
for some people, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Especially if you're highly stressed, you know, and why would you want to be burning fat if you're being attacked by a bear? You
Yeah.
want to hold on to it. You don't know when you're going to get your next meal.
Sure. Is fasting really only good for people who are, say, fit and healthy like yourself? And, you know, obviously you're a nutritionist, you know what your body needs, you exercise a lot, you eat the right foods anyway, so you're in a routine which your body is expecting you to maintain. Whereas someone who's fresh into looking after their body, not a good idea. Everything in moderation, just cut back.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the individual. I've heard amazing stories, people intermittent fasting,
Yeah.
that are just getting on the health food train. So I wouldn't say no, it's not good. You know, so a lot of people can lose a lot of weight, feel a lot better, giving their bodies a break. It really does depend on the individual, their stage of life, what's going on. Yeah.
What's the best way to fast? Is it best to fast 1 day a week, half a day a week, miss out a couple of meals? What is the best thing to do? We've only got about 4 minutes to go.
Okay. To start off, I would maybe just do intermittent fasting.
What does that
so
mean?
So that just means, you know, your last meal is maybe 5 or 6 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and the next day you wait maybe 4 hour minimum from when the time you wake up. So you're getting about 16 hours of no
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to start the fasting journey and see how you go with that.
Yeah. And I suppose the great thing about looking after our bodies and having a healthy body and healthy eating is that it does the thing that we're talking about today. It helps eliminate stress because we start feeling good about ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's going to start, you know, feeding the good bacteria in your gut as well. And remember, the gut and the brain are hugely
Yeah.
connected. So there's nerve endings in your gut that are connected to your brain. You know, they say your gut is your second brain. So yeah, as you gradually, you know, change to a healthier lifestyle and diet, it's going to affect your mood, your sleep, your skin,
Yeah.
everything.
What's your top 3 tips to help reduce stress as we come out of this holiday season and
Oh,
start
dear.
off on our new year?
Oh, you're making it hard. I would say, yeah, your digestion, making sure you're breaking your food down well, so chewing well, not drinking with your meals, you know, using apple cider if you need to, making sure you're getting enough fiber. Fiber is what mainly feeds your gut bacteria.
And fibre is what? Bread? Brown bread, oats, that
think
sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Muesli.
vegetables,
Yeah.
some, you know, 2 pieces of fruit a day,
Yeah.
oats, as you said, yeah, nuts and seeds,
Mm-hmm.
whole foods.
Yeah. Is there such a thing as cheap whole foods? I mean, I love nuts. They're really expensive to buy, though. So, is there something that you can buy economically that?
I think it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of apples. Well, at the moment it's not that much, but yeah, I think you can buy healthy food. Well, I think healthy food is the true cost of food.
Sure.
You can buy a bag of chips for 99 cents.
Yeah.
Well, actually, can you understand that label and
You
everything
cannot.
in there?
No. Your next tip was?
What was my next tip? Yeah, read labels. That can be another one as well. If you can't recognize an ingredient, your body can't, and it can't break it down.
Is that a bad thing, though? I mean, if you want to read the labels, I haven't actually. I'm just grasping at straws here, but I imagine if you turn the packet of bacon over, you might see some of the preservatives that are in bacon that you don't understand, but it wouldn't put me off eating bacon.
Right.
So you're
Well,
not.
how often are you eating it? Is it a Sunday treat?
No, just say I have about once every 5 or 6 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. You can buy free range, you know,
Yeah.
bacon from a butcher as
Sure.
well. So, and drink lots of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 mils per kilo of body weight. So it's not a standard 8 glasses a day. So if you weigh 70 kilos, try and get 2 liters a day. If you drink caffeine, if you exercise and sweat a lot, add another half a liter or so onto that.
What's the difference between drinking water and let's just say it's 8 cups of water? What's the difference between drinking 8 cups of water and 8 cups of coffee? The coffee is primarily water, isn't it? By the time what's the difference? Tell us
The
the
amount of
difference.
caffeine you're going to be having in 8 cups of coffee is going to have a humongous diuretic
Yeah.
effect on the body. So not only are you going to be losing the water you're drinking, you'll be losing additional water that you're storing. So I'd say almost for every cup of coffee, you should be drinking 3 cups of water.
Wow. That's huge,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's 32 cups all up.
Yeah.
Crikey. All right, just for my listeners, if you want to come and see for some nutritional advice on how to best avoid stress, how to do that, Heather?
So, yeah, I'd love to see you. G's Pharmacy in Taradale.
Yep.
Please do visit my website. There's a lot of good blog articles and past radio shows on there as well. So that's www.foodforlife.co.nz.
Good on you, Heather. As always, our pleasure. You look after yourself. We'll talk to you same time, same place next time.
Thanks, Ken. Happy New Year.
You too.